Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Giant Take Podcast. I'm Josh, and I'm joined by my friend and co-host Alex to discuss yet another Giants loss. What's new at this point? Let's just give charity free wins to the winless New Orleans Saints, winless no more, and the Giants and Saints now share the same record of 1-4 after basically the Giants gift. They gift the New Orleans Saints a victory with 5 turnovers in this game. You can't win a football game when you turn over the ball, not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 5 times. Alex, how are you doing on this Monday morning?
Been doing better. Yeah, I mean it's sad, it's ridiculous at this point. I'm sitting here each and every week trying to come up with words to say because at this point it's the same silly, ridiculous things over and over again. Of course, this time there's always a fun twist to it, though, Josh. I will say that, right? This week it was the fun turnovers, right? 5 straight drives of turning the ball over, which hasn't been done in 10 years or whatever. But yeah, it's always something that goes wrong and usually goes dramatically wrong. And in today's case, in a very, very, very winnable game, it was infuriating, I would say, to put it mildly, to watch this team, and had to slam my computer shut at a certain point because it was too painful to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly gets to that point, for sure. You have Jackson Dart, who comes out, he throws just over 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, but has 2 picks. You have Cam Scadaboo, who runs 15 carries for 60 yards, but has probably the worst fumble that you could possibly have that gets run back all the way for a touchdown in very Giants fashion, by the way, a way to give up a touchdown like that. And that sets this game open. You were down 19-14. You were driving on the 12th play of your drive where you're almost in the red zone. The fumble happens, and that sets the game up and done. 1, 2, 3, over. And after the Giants had their first couple of drives, I was really excited by what Jackson Dart was bringing to the table. He was running outside the pocket well. He was finding receivers well. That touchdown to Theo Johnson looked good. And actually, the 2 touchdowns to Theo Johnson looked good in the first half. And that was it. I mean, the scoring was gone. You allowed the Patriots to get 16 points by halftime, and I was really excited for this Giants defense because I thought they were going to eat up Spencer Rattler in this game, our D-line, and how good the Giants D-line has been talked about. And then it's 16-14. So then, in my eyes, I was like, all right, it's a crapshoot against 2 bad teams. But then what happens in that crapshoot, the Saints just go out there and not even outplay the Giants. The Giants lost this game. I mean, the ESPN headline is literally Saints QB Spencer Rattler and Coach Kellen Moore get first win over mistaken-prone Giants, 26-14. Exactly right. Exactly right. The Giants didn't lose, or the Saints didn't win this game. The Giants lost it. It was in their hands, and they dropped it. And Cam Scadaboo on Twitter after the game, I don't know if you saw this, Alex, he apologized to Giants fans. He's like, I'm going to be better. I'm sorry. But it's so tough. It really is. And I root for the rookie again. He's probably my favorite player on the team right now, if I'm going to be completely honest. And it's truly just unfortunate of where we're at right now. And the Giants are 1-4 after this QB transition. It's tough.
Yeah, I mean, it was really exemplifying the roster. I don't even know what to call it, disaster that the Giants have. You look, Malik Neighbors goes down, and the wide receiver room looks completely incompetent. The Giants run with only 2 running backs, despite the fact that they could quite easily have brought one up for rotation. And Cam Scadaboo, while effective, felt like he was running out of gas, and Devin Singletary really brought nothing to the table. And then you only have 5 receivers. You're trying to do this heavy 2 tight end thing, which was working in the beginning of the game, but started to falter once the Saints kind of adjusted to it. And, Brian Dable's kind of cocky answers after the game, Josh, too, as well. I'm not sure if you saw those clips, but where he kind of just said, like, well, we had 5 receivers and we have 2 running backs, but, well, we had extra tight ends, kind of ignoring the fact that he made a mistake and acknowledging the fact that, hey, like, we needed to do better in terms of our roster management as well, because it's unacceptable to be running 2 active running backs in today's NFL. It's unacceptable. It's ridiculous. And the 5 receivers that were there, I mean, Jalen Hyatt looks completely disinterested. Nothing better exemplified than when he just refused to block for Jackson Dart. Bo Collins is looking like a shell of himself from preseason. Darius Slayton, I mean, had a disastrous game, of course. And then Wan'Dale Robinson, again, just not involved for, who knows why in the play calling. So this wide receiver room, they need a guy who can go up and catch the ball like Malik Neighbors. They need a 50-50 ball guy who can win those. Jalen Hyatt can't do it. Darius Slayton can't do it. Wan'Dale Robinson's too small. So they need a guy who can go up and grab the football. I mean, I was watching the end of that Broncos-Eagles game, Josh, and we need a guy like Courtland Sutton who just goes up and grabs the ball. And that's what Malik Neighbors was, even better than Courtland Sutton, right? He's one of the best receivers in the league. But to help your rookie quarterback develop, they need to go out and get a guy who can make those 50-50 catches, who you can say, he's one-on-one there on the outside. Jackson Dart could throw it up to him. And you could say, 50% of the time, he's going to come down with it. Because right now, 5% of the time, 10% of the time, if you're talking about Darius Slayton or, any of these other guys coming down with it. So from that standpoint, absolute dysfunction from the front office and the roster that really led to this Giants offense not being able to be as potent as possible despite the turnovers, right? So I think, it was just a ridiculous set of malpractice. And then hearing Brian Dable come out and, kind of sound almost cocky afterwards was just infuriating. Like he knew better than everybody else who, obviously didn't lose the game to the 0-4 Saints.
I certainly want to respond to that, Alex, but let's get this break in before we forget, and we'll do that right now and come back and talk a little bit more about Brian Dable.
Credit the Saints. Hard to win when you turn the ball over 5 times, and it was 5 consecutive drives. Missed a couple opportunities offensively on a flea flicker and a post, which I thought could have changed it after the start of the game. Defensively, we did a good job in the run game. Gave up that big play to 22, which was a huge play for us. So can't have those things. Too many DPI penalties. Again, 5 turnovers to 0. You're not going to win. You're not going to win this league.
All right, welcome back to this episode of the Giant Take Podcast as the Saints defeat the Giants to get their first win of the season, 26-14. The Giants, with their 5 turnovers, is the reason I would say that this game ends up in the loss column, one of many for this Giants team over the past year or so. And Alex, you mentioned right before the break about Brian Dable and how he goes out in this press conference and talks about kind of arrogantly his decision-making. And, we've talked about so much about how he could get fired, how he should get fired, how he might get fired. This is one of the reasons for a fireable offense is the way that he's been handling this roster situation. He's already made the mistake twice with the kickers, last year and this year. Graham Gano picks up an injury. What do? We don't have another kicker. We just don't. We don't have one. Then you sign Younghoe Koo to the practice squad, but yet you call up Jude McTominay, who hasn't made a mistake, by the way. I mean, he's been fine. But you make that mistake with the kicker, Alex, last week, or was it 2 weeks ago now? Then you're talking about the running back or wide receiver position because both are a mess. You have 2 spots where you can bring up someone from the practice squad, sign someone, and bring them up from the practice squad, and you just don't do that. Like, what is restraining you? You have the options. You have the players that you can sign or you can bring up from the practice squad. Why aren't you doing that? Like, what is restricting you from doing that? The wide receiver room is a mess. The running back room is unfortunate right now with the Tyrone Tracy injury. But here's the thing. If you have two open slots, why not use them? Like, what is constraining you from using that? And that is one of the things that I could so see John Mara saying, this is why you are fired. This is one of the reasons why you are gone. As a head coach, I don't understand next man up mentality. Bring the next man up. Get him here. Get him to New Orleans to have the opportunity to play in the game if the Giants need. What is lacking in Brian Daboll's head thinking, I don't need to use these extra 2 or 3 spots? Because the roster is already lacking, Brian Daboll. So maybe at least get someone who can help. I don't care if they're a free agent. Yes, if they're a free agent at this point in the season in week 5, they're probably not that good. But our whole roster is not that good. So what else could it be that's so different? That is mind-boggling to me. And it's the craziest part is that he's done this time and time again too. It's not the first week.
Yeah, I mean, it's completely ridiculous. And the fact that he just continues to come out and just, kind of brush aside all of this is, infuriating for fans who have to put up with it each and every week, right? It's almost like a stab in the back. Like, if he just came out and acknowledged it, granted, it wouldn't change the result of the game and really change people's weeks, but it wouldn't further infuriate me like it is, sitting here Monday morning, and probably how it will for the rest of this week. Like, it's just absolutely ridiculous. And it's a privilege to coach for the New York Giants, right? It's a privilege to coach a team that's supported by, millions of fans throughout this area, right? So I think the idea that, like, you are above all this and that you know better than everyone else, like, yeah, hopefully you do, but there's no need to act that way, especially after getting absolutely humbled by a terrible Saints team. And I think it is unacceptable to act that way. And I mean, going on to the defense, Josh, Shane Bowen, I mean, it's ridiculous how he's scheming up games for, almost acting like we have the Legion of Boom and then a terrible defensive line when it's pretty much the opposite, playing so much cover zero. It's ridiculous. And we have so much talent on the defensive end, particularly on the defensive line, and not taking advantage of that, especially against a terrible Saints offensive line who looked like, all Pro Bowlers against the Giants. But it's just the lack of proper coaching, along with a team that kind of looks like they've given up in a lot of ends, just leads to an absolute disaster on the football field.
Not much more to say than that. I'm so lost. Like, I'm so I don't even know where to go now, because the cornerbacks struggle. Rashid Shaheed, I mean, that big play, upset that I benched him in fantasy this week. I don't know why I did that. Why would I expect the Giants secondary to do good? Why would I expect
start your fantasy players against the Giants?
Why would I expect the first round pick in Deonte Banks to actually improve? Why should I expect that? Like, why should I have any hope, Alex? And then the only thing, the one position group that I should be looking forward to each and every week is the defensive line. And how many sacks did they get this week? A goose egg. Nothing. They didn't get any. They got 0 sacks in this game. So why should I be excited for this defensive line? Tell me. Tell me why. One quarterback hit. It was Nacho. It wasn't even Brian Burns. It wasn't Abdul Carter. It wasn't Dexter Lawrence. It wasn't Spider. Why should I even be excited for the best position group in the quote-unquote NFL on this team, for God's sake? Because they didn't even show up in this game. You're having Spencer Rattler, who I would say is the worst quarterback in the league, throwing for over 200 yards, making it look easy. I don't know how much lower we can stoop than this. Alex, this is it. I mean, this is it. I could say, I think that the Saints before this game were the worst team in the NFL behind Spencer Rattler. We talked about in our preview, we were so confused with how bad they've managed their quarterback room there by drafting Tyler Shough in the second round and starting Spencer Rattler. It is so bad down in New Orleans, and they made us look worse. I didn't think that was possible. I did not you can stop me if you think I'm wrong. As much as we've doubted this team, I did not expect the Giants to lose this game. I really did not. The Saints are so bad. Again, we're talking about Spencer Rattler here. The Saints are such a bad organization and a football team right now. I had zero thought in my mind the Giants were going to lose this game, even after everything with Neighbors' injury, with the quarterback change, and with our starting running back Tyrone Tracy being out. I still thought we were going to win just because of how bad the Saints were. And are the Giants the worst team in the NFL? Probably. And I think yesterday answered that.
A Giants-Jets matchup right now would be truly
That's what I
intriguing.
said. That's literally what I said. I was
say.
watching the game with my friend Dan yesterday, who's a Jets fan. And after they barely could score any points against the Giants team, first of all, I was so confused because I was like, if our team could score 35, how are you guys this bad? A Giants-Jets game, that would determine so much because those teams are literally competing for number 32 right now on the power rankings. It's awful if you're a New York sports fan right now. It's so bad. We're waiting for NHL to start. #Islanders on Thursday. We're waiting for NBA to start in 3 weeks. It's literally NHL and NBA. Those two leagues cannot come sooner. It's truly unbelievable how, again, another year where we're saying New York football is dead by week 5. Dead. Fully gone. And it was even before that, too. You can even say it by week 3. But, yeah. And now, if it can't get worse, Alex, the Giants have to go on national television on Thursday to play the Eagles. Could it get any worse? Probably not. I don't think so. How pumped are we to preview that game?
Yeah, it'll be real fun to see Saquon Barkley run for 500 yards on us on national television. It'll be fantastic.
Yep. All our fans get to watch it at home. I really hope no Giants fans show up to that game. I hope MetLife Stadium is packed in green. Because why not? What else do we have to lose at this point?
We might as well not even show up to the game. We might
That's what I was saying. I hope it's all in green.
No, the team might as well not show up. It's
honestly
ridiculous.
Just party it in New Orleans, bro. Like, what else are you doing? That's the only time you can have fun. It's Alex. It's so bad. I mean, like, it's genuinely so atrocious. Like, I don't know what. Like, we're literally, I don't know a time. I know, obviously, we've had really unfortunate circumstances on this podcast since we started doing this in 2020. I don't know when we've ever done this where we're both hands on head, like, fully crashing out.
Well, you realize it stacks, right? Like, the longer this goes on, the worse it is, right? Like, there's been worse. Like the QB sneak on 3rd and 9.
Okay, that would take
probably
that would
worse.
Take the cake.
But
it's just
the fact that it's the
Joe
stats.
Judge getting himself fired with a mask on in the post-game press conference during COVID. That might have been it. That might have taken the cake.
But it's just all these things continuing to happen, right? It's like a cycle that never ends, and that's where the crash outs begin, and that's how we end.
I'm genuinely looking at the schedule, though, Alex. This Giants team can literally win one. Like, this one win over the Chargers last week can be their only win this year. I'm just gonna go through it all. Ready? Eagles, you play twice in 3 weeks. Eagles, Broncos, Eagles, 49ers, Bears, Packers, Lions, Patriots, Commanders, Vikings, Raiders, Cowboys. Besides the Raiders, all those games I can so see them losing, and it's over. But I don't see them winning any of those games. The Patriots yesterday on Sunday Night Football, they just beat the Bills, who I think Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL, and they beat the Bills. So now I'm sitting here saying I don't think they can win any of those games besides the Raiders. I think they could end the season having only one win.
Yeah, that's fair. The Raiders suck, but besides that, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I
right? right? I mean, this season can end with genuinely one win for this Giants team. And I guess that's not saying much since it ended with 3 wins last year.
Yeah, it's time to pack the bags and go home, I think, is at this point what the Giants need to do. Bring back Tommy DeVito. I don't even know. Like it's a train wreck, it's a disaster, and having to talk about it each week is driving me into insanity. As I'm sure it is for you, Josh. It's like I don't even know. My head like spins trying to rationalize the craziness and the awfulness of this team. And it's impossible to rationalize because some of the decisions that are being made just don't make sense. It's impossible.
Well, Alex, I think Brian Dable and Joe Schoen might have caught you because there is banging happening on that door. I don't know if John Mara is sneaking in to tell you to shut up, but yeah.
It's our maintenance people in my apartment, so it's yeah.
Can they fix the Giants franchise possibly?
No, it's impossible for them to do that, unfortunately. I don't think. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe. It can't be worse, right? That's what I'm thinking.
Certainly can't be worse. I'll let you attend to them, and hopefully we can somehow make it to someone can help fix the Giants franchise. Some maintenance guy has to be able to. I don't even know. Well, here's the thing, Alex. We'll see you listening to this episode or to our preview episode for the Eagles because we're going to have to do that in the next day or two. As the Giants, unfortunately, face the Eagles on Thursday Night Football. In just a few days, we get to watch Giants football yet again on a short rest. Thank you so much for listening or watching on socials at the Giant Take Pod, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Alex is on Twitter at anorian23. I'm on Twitter at joshjolo29. Thank you so much if you made it this far to the episode. Stick with us. We're sticking with this team, and we're sticking with you. So thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Peace.